It was about 12 years ago that I came face to face with Martin Bryant, the famous mass murderer down at Port Arthur from about 1996. And it was a pretty scary encounter. I'd managed to talk my way into Risdon Prison, talking to the Tasmanian prison authorities. And Risdon Prison is like this gothic, cold brick structure that comes out of the 18th century. It's a real throwback to a different time. And they took me into the insane wing for the inmates. And that was probably the most forbidding place I've ever been. We walked along row after row of cells. One man leapt out at me as I was walking past him, made me jump. He stuck his tongue out at me and then held up his arm, and it was covered in bandages. And as we walked away, I said to the prison guard who was escorting me along, "What's he been up to?" And he said, "Well, he just gets a cigarette lighter out every time he takes the bandages off and cooks his arm." They're the sort of people we're talking about here, you know, corrupted minds, fighting all of their demons inside their head day in, day out. And right at the end of the row was Martin Bryant's cell. Now the deal was I could go into the prison, but I couldn't meet or talk to Bryant, who they wanted to keep him away from reporters, which was fair enough. I was hoping that if I could look inside Martin Bryant's cell, I'd have a great insight into his character and his personality and what motivates him and drives him. Well, maybe I did, because there was nothing in that cell, just a cot, a blanket, and this pair of old blue scuffed slippers. I asked the guard, I said, "Where are the paintings, the artwork?" Every prisoner usually does a drawing or reads a book. Nothing there. As we were walking back to go outside, we walked past the prison kitchen, and there, through the window, just metres away, was Martin Bryant, and he was staring at me. That famous long blonde hair had been cut very short, but there was no mistaking it was him. And there was just this deathly vacant stare staring out. Nothing much going on there. And until that moment, I'd really been a bit ambivalent about the capital punishment, about whether or not we should execute people for killing others. But after seeing him in there, and I thought, what an absolute waste. We should have just got rid of Martin Bryant. He killed 35 people, including young children, on that day at Port Arthur, completely changed the political landscape of this country. John Howard, the then Prime Minister, went and changed all the gun ownership laws, and we continue to feed him, to look after his health care, to give him a roof over his head, give him psychological treatment, when in fact we all would have been better off just wiping him off the face of the earth. And I think in these extreme cases and extreme examples where people have either murdered children, committed crimes against humanity, they've forfeited the right to earn a place on this planet. And that's why I've changed my mind. Over the last 10 years I've thought about it a lot. There are lots of reasons for and against capital punishment, but I think the overwhelming evidence now shows that if you commit an act, a criminal act, a murder, torture, you don't deserve to be here anymore.